Hello, football fans. There was a time when David Beckham was the most hated man in England. Not for missing a penalty, not for losing a game, but for a single flick of the leg, a red card in the 1998 World Cup against Argentina. That was it. In one instant, a 23-year-old kid from East London became public enemy number one. They burned his effigy, booed him in every stadium. Tabloids called him a disgrace. And through it all, he didn't hide. He trained harder. He played smarter. And slowly, ever so slowly, David Beckham began to evolve. Not just as a footballer, but as a man, a leader, a global icon. This is the story of the evolution of David Beckham, how a shy, working-class boy with a golden right foot became one of the most influential and beloved athletes the world has ever seen. David Beckham was born in Leytonstone, East London, to working-class parents who lived and breathed football. His father was a die-hard Manchester United fan, the type of man who filled the house with match programs, photos of Bobby Charlton, and dreams of one day seeing his son wear the Red Devils jersey. And that dream came true. At just 14, David was accepted into the Manchester United Youth Academy. He was skinny, quiet, and sometimes too polite on the pitch. But his right foot, it was magic. Coaches would stay behind after training just to watch him take free kicks. He became part of the legendary class of '92, alongside Ryan Giggs, Paul Scholes, Nicky Butt, and the Neville brothers. Together, they won the FA Youth Cup, and not long after, David made his senior debut. In 1996, he introduced himself to the world with that goal, the halfway line screamer against Wimbledon. Suddenly, the whole country knew his name. He wasn't just a promising youngster, he was the future. Then came 1998, the World Cup in France, England versus Argentina, a fiery, emotional match. In the 47th minute, after being fouled by Diego Simeone, Beckham retaliated with a soft kick to the back of Simeone's leg. It wasn't violent, but it was enough. Red card. England fought hard, took the game to penalties, and lost. The blame? It didn't fall on the missed spot kicks. It fell squarely on Beckham. The English media crucified him. Headlines screamed betrayal. Fans hung up life-size dummies of him in Manchester. He received death threats, and opposing fans sang hateful chants every time he touched the ball. He was just 23, and he could have quit. He could have gone quiet, disappeared from the headlines, and lived a safe, quiet life. But he didn't. Beckham kept showing up, every game, every week, every free kick, and slowly his performances began to change the story. In the 1998-99 season, David Beckham did the unthinkable. While still dealing with nationwide hate, he led Manchester United to a historic treble: Premier League, FA Cup, and UEFA Champions League. In the Champions League final against Bayern Munich, it was Beckham who took both corners that led to United's comeback goals in stoppage time. No goal, no assist, but without his delivery, there would be no miracle in Barcelona. He won back respect, not through PR or interviews, but through performance, through that golden right foot. And slowly, England forgave. By 2000, he was made England captain. From being booed at every stadium to wearing the armband, a transformation no one saw coming. But Beckham wasn't finished evolving. October 6th, 2001, England versus Greece. A must-win World Cup qualifier. England were down, time was running out, hope was fading, and in the 93rd minute, England earned a free kick. It was far, the wall was set, the weight of a nation sat on one man's shoulders, David Beckham. And then, he curled it. Top corner. Perfect. That goal didn't just send England to the 2002 World Cup, it healed years of pain. It turned boos into applause. It transformed David Beckham from controversial footballer to national hero. It's one of the most iconic moments in English football history. And it proved one thing: Beckham never gave up. In 2003, after a falling out with Sir Alex Ferguson, including the infamous incident where Fergie kicked a boot at his face, Beckham left Manchester United. He joined Real Madrid's Galacticos, playing alongside Ronaldo, Zidane, Figo, and Roberto Carlos. It wasn't just a transfer, it was a statement. Beckham was no longer just a footballer. He was a brand. Though he won only one La Liga title, he earned respect from teammates and fans alike for his work ethic, professionalism, and passion. Then, in 2007, another surprising move to LA Galaxy in Major League Soccer. Critics said he was retiring early, just chasing money. But Beckham saw something else, a chance to grow football in America. He took that risk. endured boos from American fans who didn't understand him, and still he delivered. He won trophies, filled stadiums, opened doors for players like Zlatan, Messi, and others to follow. David Beckham wasn't just playing football anymore, he was building empires, but even legends face setbacks. In 2010, while on loan at AC Milan, Beckham tore his Achilles tendon just months before what would have been his fourth World Cup appearance. It was devastating. He had worked so hard, transformed so much, and when the moment came to wear the England shirt once again on the world's biggest stage, his body said no. But here's the thing about Beckham. He didn't disappear into the shadows. Instead, he joined England's coaching staff, stood on the sidelines, and guided the next generation. He didn't need the spotlight anymore. He just wanted to serve. That's the kind of man he had become. Even as his football career wound down, his influence only grew. In 2013, he joined Paris Saint-Germain not for glory, not for money, but to help raise the club's profile and inspire young players. He played just a handful of matches, donated his entire salary to children's charities, and walked off the pitch for the final time, in tears. The stadium stood to applaud him. Teammates, fans, even opponents, all gave him the farewell of a king. And with that, David Beckham, the footballer, said goodbye. But David Beckham, the legend, was only just getting started. Beckham's evolution didn't end with football. In many ways, that was just the first act. He turned his fame into a global brand, partnering with Adidas, Armani, H&M, and even launching his own grooming line. He went from football kits to fashion runways, from muddy pitches to Vogue covers. But unlike many celebrities, Beckham's image was never fake. What made people admire him wasn't just the hair or the tattoos. It was the way he carried himself, with class, with humility, with an undeniable work ethic. He married Victoria Beckham, one of the most famous pop stars of the era, and despite the media frenzy, their relationship stood the test of time. Through scandals, criticism, and unbearable fame, they stayed together, raised 4 kids, built a family, built an empire. But what really sets Beckham apart is what he did after fame. In 2014, he became the face behind Inter Miami CF, a brand new football club in the United States. While others retired to mansions and yachts, Beckham went back to building, back to football, back to inspiring. He wanted to give American kids the chance he got as a 14-year-old in Manchester, a shot to dream big, and he made it happen. So what does Beckham's evolution really teach us? It's not just about football, it's about reinvention, about not letting one chapter define your whole book. He was hated and came back stronger. He was doubted and delivered. He was mocked and turned himself into a billionaire brand. He faced pressure on the pitch and in the press, and still found time to be a father, a husband, a businessman, and a global ambassador. Every time the world tried to label him pretty boy, traitor, celebrity, Beckham flipped the script. He wasn't just evolving as a player, he was evolving as a human being. From Leytonstone to Manchester, Madrid to LA, Milan to Paris, Beckham's journey wasn't just about where he played, it was about who he became at each step. And let's not pretend it was all smooth. He lost the Ballon d'Or to Rivaldo in 1999, even after winning the treble. He had public fallout with Sir Alex Ferguson, a man who once believed in him. He missed crucial penalties, endured brutal injuries, and was dropped from the England squad by Steve McLaren in 2006, only to fight his way back again. In LA, he was booed by fans of his own team for going on loan to Europe. He got criticized for caring too much about fashion, for marrying a pop star, for becoming too famous, but through it all, he kept showing up. Whether you loved him or hated him, you couldn't ignore him. Kids in Japan lined up to buy Beckham-branded shampoos. In India, posters of Beckham hung next to Bollywood stars. In America, he sold out stadiums for a sport most people didn't even care about. And through his work with UNICEF, Beckham raised awareness and funds for causes most celebrities never even speak about. He didn't just evolve his career, he evolved his purpose. And on May 18th, 2013, Paris Saint-Germain vs. Brest. It's Beckham's final professional match. He wears the captain's armband. Late in the game, the coach signals for a substitution. As Beckham walks off the field, the crowd rises. Teammates surround him, opponents applaud. The entire stadium chants his name. He breaks down, tears in his eyes, no words, just gratitude. From being booed by his own country to receiving a standing ovation in a foreign land, From a kid with a dream to a man who lived it all and then gave back. David Beckham's evolution isn't just a football story. It's a human story. A story of failure and redemption, of mistakes and maturity, of free kicks and fatherhood, of red cards and reinvention. He didn't just become one of the most famous footballers on the planet. He became a symbol of resilience, class, and relentless self-improvement. So the next time life knocks you down, remember David Beckham, the boy who got booed by his own fans and became the man the whole world stood up for. Because legends aren't born perfect, they're built through evolution.